Typically, it's David Shelton telling the stories, 32 years of doing so at the High School Sports Report or the Post and Courier. He's put to print your kids' athletic tales, their successes, failures. But now, David feels the calling to tell his own story, the heartbreaking story of his family. It is his most important one yet. There's just something about this field for David Shelton.
And there was no time in his life that he was more happy than playing at Cane Bay.
Almost impossible to imagine the thoughts that will cross the mind of this coach, this writer, this father, with every pitch thrown here moving forward.
The way I want to remember him, right here. We put his ashes on the mound on Sunday to go and see him laying on a gurney, identifying his body. Yes, this is my son. It didn't look like my son. He weighed 100 pounds when he died. When he played, he was 175 pounds.
Justin Shelton, a son, a brother, an uncle, a Cane Bay Cobra, a heroin addict, now a statistic. He died of an overdose, David's second son to do so.
But losing Justin, who's the youngest, Brian was my oldest, but losing Justin a couple of weeks ago to drug addiction, just as the first one, it woke me up. I mean, I said, I cannot sit back and not tell this story.
That is what a gifted writer does, but how? How can you even find the words? David found about 4,000 of them to pour out of the freshest of wounds.
I'm a sports writer and a volunteer coach, and I got it all together. Doesn't matter. It can affect anybody at any time, and we're not safe. Heroin addiction is the worst, and unfortunately, I had two sons that were addicted to opioids, and I just want to help people. I just want to help one. If I can help one, then I'll go to the next one, try to help the next one.
Justin died homeless. He didn't have to be. David with an open home, but closing his son off to enabling with money. He knew where it would go.
There's so many addicts living in tents behind Walmart, behind Target. I had no idea any of that existed. My eyes have been opened. I go back there, I've been back there twice just to see people, give them coats, it's cold. My son slept by a fire for the last month of his life because he gave his tent to someone else that needed it more than him. So I know he had a good heart. He had a good soul.
But he had a problem, developed after losing high school baseball in his life. Then his older brother. The path became evident. The goal, stopping that path for others before they go too far down it.
If you're a parent of a teenager and you pay for his phone bill, you need to check his messages. You need to check his Facebook. You need to check his Instagram. Social media has become the way that drug dealers and addicts communicate. They don't call each other. They text, or they go on social media and they have their little chats, and that's how you get drugs. And as I was telling you earlier, Justin was an adult. I couldn't check his phone. I didn't have the right to check his phone.
A good storyteller, always evolving. David as good as it gets. Embarrassment stopped him from telling his own story the first time. His own evolution won't allow that this time.
I'll speak to any group, free of charge, no money. Don't want to make money off this. I want to help people.
There will always be this field, this mound, the best of times, the times David prefers to remember, the times he'll work for other families to have so he can write about them for all to read.